Hi, I'm Devin Moore, your host for Humanity Rising's Race to Speak Up podcast and founder of hashtag Race to Speak Up, an anti-bullying organization. The Race to Speak Up podcast is a place where we have open and engaging conversations about bullying prevention, how to be upstanders, and how we are making a positive change in our communities. So the question now is, how do you race to speak up? Hello and welcome to the Race to Speak Up podcast. I'm your host, Devin Moore. Joining me today is Carlos Hernandez. Born in Mexico, Carlos Hernandez understands the importance of hard work and taking care of his family. Carlos went to architecture school and became an architect in Mexico. Unable to find a job in the field, he studied and became an insurance agent. Married to his high school sweetheart, they had a daughter, Edna, and son, Anthony. Sadly, Anthony Hernandez Caballero, a high school sophomore at the time, committed suicide at home. Carlos learned that his son, Anthony, was being bullied. Devastated by this huge, heartbreaking loss, Carlos decided to help others through his pain and is working with Generations Against Bullying, an organization that works to educate students about bullying prevention and how to be upstanders. Welcome, Carlos. How are you today?
Very good. Thank you. How about you?
I'm doing well, and I'm very happy to speak to you today.
Well, my pleasure too.
Now, first, I must say I am extremely sorry for your loss. Why don't you tell us about Anthony?
Well, Anthony, he was born in 2004, May 19th. And he went to preschool, kindergarten, and all that stuff. And at the age of, when he started, like the last few years of middle school, he loved football, American football. So he got into a team, and he was just one of those kids with a lot of energy, trying to be a sport guy and stuff. And the other thing, was a little bit too sensitive in a way, right? So he got into that team in middle school. Then when he finished middle school, we were so lucky that we found a team that they called all year round football team. So which means they are always in action. And his team was Dolphins, the Dolphins in Chicago. So they won the statewide, and they went to the nationals in Florida, and they came back to Chicago with the second place. So it was just great. He was a very good student, a little bit kind of too much energy. So it was so easy for him to get bored and stuff for the school. But in general, he was a great kid. He was a great kid.
Okay. And did you know he was being bullied?
Yes, yes, we talked about it. Actually, the reason I mentioned the first team that he was on, um, there was this time that I remember, because I was always with him. I was always in his actions for football and stuff. And one time he got into, I was waiting for him in my vehicle. So he came into my vehicle, and he said, Dad, I tackled that guy, and he started saying things that I didn't understand. And I said, like what? Well, he told me to go back and jump the wall back to my country. And I thought, oh my God. So uh, it says, Dad, I don't understand, because I was born in here. I was born in Chicago, so I don't understand what he meant. So that's part of the thing, that he was always friendly. He was sweet. He used to hate kind of problems and stuff. I still remember the first time that we went to karate school. He was like about 6 years old, and he didn't want to get into it, because I told him, but Anthony, that's a very, very good, exercise and stuff. But he said, Dad, I don't like to beat up people. I don't like that. So okay. So it took me a while to convince him, to get into the karate thing. So he was always in good shape and stuff, but he used to hate problems or arguments. He was always very friendly with his friends. So that was the first time that I heard that he was being bullied, on his football team. So, and I had to talk to the coach, but I didn't see much response for that. So when we got into the point that we were looking for a high school for him, my brother-in-law, which my is my wife's brother, he was living at a time in Greenfield, which he still lives in here in Greenfield. He told us, hey, there's a beautiful school very close by, and there's an opportunity to buy a house, so why don't you guys give it a try? So we came to Greenfield. We got into the place. He got into the Greenfield High School, and his temper started changing, his attitude and all that stuff. I mean, after he was a very sweet guy, when he used to come from the school, his temper was up and down, up and down. Then I start talking to him because I was very close to him all the time because of the football and stuff. So, and other sports too. So he started telling me that, there are times that there are even five guys, trying to fight me, and all the time. He was very popular, and I know I'm the father, I shouldn't say this, but like he was a very good looking guy. So it was kind of hard for him because he was always a lot of kids. One time I remember he told me, Dad, like that kid is trying to fight with me and saying something about his girlfriend. I don't even know his girlfriend, so I don't understand why he's trying to fight me. So his temper started changing a lot. So I started going to the school, you know, talking to his counselors and stuff. But sadly, I could see that a lot of people on the schools, they don't take that so seriously. They think they can just say, okay, Anthony, try to avoid this, try to do this, try to that. So it went really tough. So I really talked to the school people, teachers, counselors, and stuff, and they advised me to take him to therapy, which I did. So I took Anthony to therapy, individual therapies in groups, you name it, he was there. But one time I remember, I was waiting for him in the vehicle, and he get out of the therapy and he says, he actually punched the dashboard. I said, Dad, I don't understand. I mean, I'm being bullied and I'm the one that has to take therapies. I don't understand. I mean, I'm tired of hearing over and over, just Anthony, avoid this, avoid that. Don't pay attention to what they say. Don't do this, don't do that. And Dad, I mean, I just can't take it anymore. So I try to help him so much, but there was not much that I could do. Why? Because the system, there's not such a good system that could help kids that are being bullied. If you follow what I'm saying. I mean, it was really hard for me. I'm not a young guy anymore. I'm very close to my 60s. So even though I thought I knew a lot about life, I got to the point with my son that once in a while I didn't know what to do. And that's part of the reason that I really want to get involved with GAP, Generation Against Bullying, that to create kind of a system that we can help kids and even parents like me that I didn't know what to do at the time. Now, believe it or not, when my son took that fatal decision, it's kind of a lot of knowledge got to me, like, okay, this is how it should be. It can get so hard to the point that not only a teenager, anybody can just go to that fatal decision. I mean, it's just really hard. And there's a lot of people that don't understand that making other people feel bad is not funny. I mean, it's not something that we should be proud about. I mean, with all the things that I live with my son, and now I understand that we have to do something about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree that we do have to work to create a more safer world for when it comes to especially youth. And then also, I think I understand like why your son feels as though he was made to be the perpetrator or the enemy or to be the bully when he wasn't. Because a lot of the time when it comes to schools, it's like it mainly tends to deal with like the school's reputation. The school doesn't want to seem as like, oh, a problem's happening at school. So oftentimes they actually expel the victim or the one who's being bullied. But they just made it, or your son was feeling as though they were just making it, his fault, or am I saying it right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're saying completely right, because when I used to come to the meetings with the counselors or with the teachers and stuff, they kind of made Anthony feel like he was the one guilty. He was like, it was his fault. And I could see that very easy because when we were in the meeting with the counselors, Anthony's attitude was completely different. I mean, I mean, sometimes when he and I used to talk, he was sweet and kind of explained everything to me. But when he was with counselors, it was like he was in a little battle, you know, I mean, like a little, you know, something like if everybody was against him. And I after the meetings and stuff, I had to explain to him, hey, Anthony, I mean, I'm your dad and I'm the one that loves you the most. I mean, there's no other people that love you more than me. And I said, yeah, Dad, but you're listening to them. I said, well, I just have to listen what they are saying, but no, I'm not really on their side. I'm in your side. I mean, because I know you're going through all these things. And if they don't do something, I'm going to have to do something. So, but bottom line, it was over and over and over. So even though I took him to therapies and stuff, we were just attacking the symptoms, but we were not really attacking the origin of the whole problem. So until you solve those problems and until we don't create a good environment in the classroom or in the whole school, we won't stop the bullying at all. I mean, it's like in Denmark. I mean, they are changing the whole system. In Denmark, they have to take classes for empathy, and if they don't, if the teachers and the whole system don't see the student that is ready for the class, they don't let him go into regular class. They have to take empathy classes first and try to teach them how to create a good environment for the whole thing. So, and I think we should start thinking about a system that kind of make the kids feel safe. All the schools should be a safe place, safe environment, like nice place that you really feel that you're going to. I remember one time my son was really good in a lot of topics like mathematics and stuff, and his grades were really low in mathematics in the first grade of high school, and all of a sudden he went from F's or whatever to A plus. And I thought, oh my God, what happened? So I asked him, Anthony, I'm not mad or upset. I'm actually happy. But I would like to understand, you went from really low to really, I mean, like you're now on A plus. I'm happy, Anthony. I said, Dad, yeah, the other teacher, the environment wasn't that good. I mean, and now this teacher that we're having right now, the environment is completely different. And we feel like we really want to learn. So that's my point. And he proved it to me. I mean, he proved it that my words, what I'm saying right now is all right. I mean, we have to create a good environment. We have to create schools with a good environment so the kids feel more, a lot happier to kind of be there and learn. Because you and I know that if you're not feeling comfortable, if you're not feeling happy, most likely there's nothing you're going to be able to learn.
I
That's my point
completely
of view.
agree. I completely agree. I remember when I was going through my bullying and it was middle school, I was not able to focus in class. I had a lot of anxiety, and unfortunately, anxiety still affects me to this day, but like there was so many different emotions going on. And so when it comes to, with you, I'm glad that your son was able to, openly speak with you. But it really does start with like, where a lot of the youth are, which is schools. And at a young age, which is just, well, just at young ages, learning about empathy and learning about how to be kind to each other. That's the main thing, and how to really, love each other. And so that's something that that's one of the main things that schools should be focusing on. You go to school to get this education, one thing, and then you go to school also to learn how to interact with people and, make friends. So bullying shouldn't be a part of your day. Bullying shouldn't be a part of anyone's days. Because unfortunately, it leads to, unfortunately, many times it leads to the route that your son unfortunately went on, which is suicide. And that's just not wrong, because he felt as though, and of course, correct me if I'm wrong in anything that I'm saying, but he felt as though there was no way out, right? He felt as though there was no way out from the bullying and the pain. And that's something that we need to let a lot of the youth know, is that there will be better days, but there's also support. We're here to help you. You just, of course, please speak up to us, and please, we encourage you to speak up to us. That's something that a lot of the youth need to, uh, anyone needs to really recognize and understand. And then I know you also mentioned for the friends that you have mentioned with him, um, did he talk to any of his friends about being bullied?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when he passed away, I remembered they did a balloon release. So there was the whole, actually the whole school, all the kids and stuff. And I had a chance to talk to a lot of them, the group in the big field. And there was a little wall, I remember. And I went on top of the wall and started talking to all of them. So when I mentioned the word bullying, you should have seen their little faces. I mean, they were like, "Oh yeah." I mean, that school is really known like really bad bullying. So it's they know it's there, but they need help from adults. I mean, they need help from the whole community. I mean, to grow a kid is not only for parents or teachers. I believe it's the whole community. We should get integrated in the whole system to be able to create a good environment, not only in the schools, also on the basketball field or wherever you go, that they feel safe first of all, and they feel that they are being respected. And if you don't feel like people are respecting you, I mean, it's going to be hard for you to kind of feel comfortable. And some of my friends, my old friends, tell me, Carlos, this bullying even when we were kids, and I keep telling them it's not the same. Now kids with the media, they take the bullying home. The bullying is all the time. And I've heard with a lot of kids that they go to bed really late, like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., you name it, and all the kids are living the same life. And most of them are very late in the media, you name it, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. And right there is the bullying. Because when I remember he took that decision on a Saturday, that means he didn't go to school. Like for instance, when I was a kid, if I was being bullied in the school, I get home and that's over. I mean, I feel happy at home because the environment was a lot better. But on these days, there's cyberbullying. I mean, they take bullying home. So there are some other medias that they can hear whatever everybody's saying in group or whatever, and they feel really down, really down. I remember one time he came out of the school with a terrible attitude. I mean, like, and I thought, okay, Anthony, what's wrong? No, no, nothing. He was really, really upset, really upset. So little later, he told me, Dad, I mean, there were these 5 guys in the bathroom area. They wanted to beat me up, and I'm sure that one of them had a knife. But how can I prove to the teachers or to the counselors or whatever that they were have something that they will really hurt me? So, and that it was one. I mean, we can fight or whatever, but 5 in front of you, you don't know what's the feeling of having 5 guys in front of you trying to beat you up. That, and in the bathroom area, there's nobody around. There are no cameras. There's nothing. So there's no way for me to prove that I'm being bullied. I mean, if and I go to the teachers, they say, "Oh, Anthony, don't pay attention. Just take different way, go around them and stuff." And they don't know what's the feeling of being right there. It's just completely different. There's no such a thing that don't pay attention. That's not such an easy thing. It's not as easy as that. So, and you're right. They feel like they are alone.
Yeah.
Even though I was there all the time, that's that's part of the reason that sometimes I feel so down. I mean, I feel like I should have done something, but I did my best. I mean, there was nothing I could have done.
Well, Carlos, how are you and your family coping with this huge loss?
Oh gosh, at the first few months, it was devastated. I mean, it was just uh, I don't even know how to explain it. When you lose a kid, a son or a daughter, I think that's the worst loss you could ever have in your life. It's the worst pain. I don't even have words to describe the kind of pain that you go through when those things happen. I've lost my parents, brothers, and it hurts a lot. But when you lose a kid, it's not the logical way of living life. I mean, they are supposed to bury you, not you bury them. So it's hard. And it was even worse because of the way it happened, especially with the bullying that there is there and nobody wants to talk about it. I mean, if you ask around the schools and stuff, they try to deny it. And I don't understand that. I really don't understand. I remember a few weeks after that happened, I got a call from somebody from the school She apparently told me that she was the psychologist that was full-time in Greenfield High School. So I said, okay, so, Mr. Hernandez, I have a question for you. I said, yes. Well, I have to explain you first that we're going to have a big meeting with the parents, and we're going to have professional people there. We're going to have psychologists, psychiatrists, and we're going to talk about how to prevent suicide. I said, okay, I think that's a good idea. I said, but we are requesting you if we can use your son's name. And I asked her, well, uh, now I have a question for you. Are you going to be able, are you going to be using the word bullying? Are you going to talk about bullying? And she said with very, very weird accent, like, oh no, Mr. Hernandez, don't even think about it. When there's no more bullying in the school, we got rid of it. I mean, we talk to the kids, we talk to the teachers, and there's no more bullying. You don't have to worry about that. And I thought, oh really? Well, if you're not going to talk about bullying, please don't use my son's name. I don't want you to use my son's name. Please don't even dare. Because if you're not helping, if you're not really talking about the problem, one of the biggest problems that there are a lot of suicide, and bullying is one of the first ones. I don't think that your meeting or whatever you're going to talk about is going to work, because you're just going to speak, but no really solutions at all. So it was really tough for us. For
Yeah.
us, it was really devastating.
Well, again, I'm sorry to just hear about what your son went through. And I think what you just said actually brings up an interesting point. It reminds me of something. So, like, you're saying how if you don't speak up about bullying, it'll just keep happening, which of
Yeah.
course I completely agree with. But that also kind of reminds me of history, like if you don't teach and learn about this, it repeats itself, like history repeats itself. That's just something you learn about in school. So why can't we recognize that within bullying? If just talking to the students, okay, I get having a conversation with the students. That's something you do need to start off with. But that's almost just like, or what I'm hearing is almost just like a slap on the wrist. Like, you literally, that's like saying your son's bullies bullied him into unfortunately killing himself. And all he did was talk to them and sent them back to class. That's it. But the thing is, schools need to recognize that that's not where it stops. That's not at all where it stops. You need to have people come in and speak about this. You need to have the bullying problem, or just like problems like that, or just speaking up and positivity, like promoting positivity. We need classes like that. We need at least just days like that where you have the teachers come in, they speak to you about how can we promote kindness. Everyone, think of a way we can do that. Or everyone, are there solutions to bullying? How can we prevent this problem? What is bullying? Do we even know that? We need classes like that. And which is why I'm very happy that you work with Generations Against Bullying. That's why we have people like me who are working with anti-bullying organization. But actually, how did you connect with Generations Against Bullying?
How did I? Okay. Few weeks before that happened, I had enrolled Anthony in a karate school. And I remember that they told me, that you have to sign up this contract. And I told them, okay, so I'm going to have to, yeah, if he doesn't come to class, you still have to pay, etc., etc., etc. So, and she told me the only reason that we can break this contract is that something major happens. And I said, okay, all right, sounds good to me. So he went to the class a few weeks, and then this happened. So with all my pain, I had to come over and break that contract, because I told him, you know what, this is what happened with my son, so he's no longer, and I don't think I should keep paying. And he says, oh, we are really sorry, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Get me there. And Gav was very close to that karate school. So through that school, that was how I got involved with Gav. generation against bullying, which I'm very happy because I think we all together, if we get together as much as we can do, the better it's going to be. I mean, if we are more and more people that are talking about that, it's going to help a lot more the kids, because the kids, as you said, most of the time they feel lonely. I think they feel there's no way out. And that's the hardest part. There's a way out. I mean, there's many things that we can do, but we have to be all together. If there's one person or two or three, it's not going to work. But if we get all together and talk about the thing, because I believe that the bully is also a victim of the system. I don't know. Probably they have problems at home. Probably they have problems with someone else, and they try to take revenge on some other people. So it's the whole deal. It's not as easy as we can say. Oh, the bully has existed in the beginning of the world. No, I mean right now it's getting worse and worse. As I said, it's cyberbullying, and they take bully to the house, and that's the hard part.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I think I find myself saying this more and more, especially often, like just when I come on and like will speak anywhere, but it's just when it comes to like the bully, like the one who's inflicting all of these problems onto their victim, the bully's mindset and behavior comes from their home environment. Or other times, I just tend to say an environment that they are mainly around and mainly go to, which is, their home environment. They have this mentality or this hateful mentality put into their minds, and then they bring that back to school, or they bring that back to wherever, and they inflict that negative energy and that negative emotions and hate onto the person or people that they were taught to hate for whatever reason they were taught to hate them for. And I just know that it's something that's not at all right. I mean, it really leads to such horrible and life-changing and devastating effects. And it's something that we really need to work on. And first, saying this, bringing this up in a lot of different places is one of the first steps in actually learning about why this is a problem, and then continuing to speak on about it, and then solutions, having workshops, having anti-bullying curriculums, having organizations like Generations Against Bullying, like hashtag Race to Speak Up, like Humanity Rising, who are working to, actually educate others about bullying or actually bring people together.
Yes.
So I mean, of course, I just am so happy that you're working to, help others. Do you speak at schools?
This COVID came to kind of ruin a lot of stuff. So I went to many schools with GAP at the beginning, but then the COVID came to this world and just stopped everything. So hopefully when this COVID is gone, or I mean, let's hope for the best that it leaves this world, we're going to continue talking to people.
Okay. And what lessons do you want students to learn about bullying?
Well, one of the ones that I would like students to know that they are not alone. That's number one. Number two is that they can speak up, like Generation Against Bullying says, be an upstander. Like if you see someone doing some bullying to someone, don't be quiet. Say something or do something. Bring, I don't know, get closer to the one is being bullied, and show them that there are other people that likes them. There are other people that loves them, not only these bullies that are just negative energy. There's a lot of positive energy. And I think that's the first thing that kids should start getting to know, that there's positive energy all over. It's not only negative. And as I said, if teach the kids that if they see someone being bullied, be an upstander. I mean, kind of try to stop it. And if you say something in the next 10 seconds, it will just stop. But if we don't do anything, if we keep not telling them, but if we keep showing them that it's okay to do bullying, they won't stop. So we have to tell them, we have to show them that there are solutions. They are not alone.
Very true. Very true. What age do you think parents in schools should start teaching about bullying?
I would go the very beginning, like preschool all the way to whatever, because we all know that there's bullying all over. Even as adult, I remember when I started in the job that I'm in right now, there were a lot of people that they weren't trying to bully me. So, but I was prepared for a lot of things. I mean, we are all different. We are human beings and we are all different. There's a lot of people that are so sensitive that they cannot take any bully at all. And they go really down. Maybe I'm a little bit stronger and I could take bully, but we can say that there's bully all over, at job, at your work, in the streets, all over. But that's part of the reason that we have to start teaching kids since the beginning, since the preschool, as small as possible, trying to tell them, teach them empathy, like trying to understand others. And you don't like to do something to others that wouldn't like them to do it to you. So I think that we should start in a very early age for the kids.
Yeah, learning these different, positive messages, or learning how to just, be kind to each other at a young age definitely goes a long way. I just think that it'll definitely, help in creating a more peaceful world, or just a world with a lot less of these problems, because I don't really think families will want to go through these problems. I know I mean, I'm not going to speak on your family. I just know that this is something that's huge and very devastating. And I know a lot of people wouldn't want to go through that. Well, when it comes to my family, I was not even really wanting to get out of bed at some certain points, which is another thing. I was really anxious, but I knew that I had to keep going. Until now, I'm fine with keep going, like with everything, or just like, just like continuing to help others. I know that we're working to help others. And I know that when it comes to people who are like that, who are working to create a better change, it gives me hope that the world will be better. I mean, when it comes to this bullying epidemic, I think that the world, has a lot to go through. It has a
Uh-huh.
lot where we need to work on. I mean, I know we're definitely saying that just in general, but I think that is definitely, something that if we were to learn this from a young age, and something that if we continue to go on the path to like helping others and more peace in the world, I think that there just will be more peace in the world and unity on top of that. I think that'll definitely just be something that comes along. If we continue to work on this problem, the problem will slowly but surely, get fixed. That's how I think of it. And I'm glad that you're working. I'm glad that we have people like you who are helping others and speaking to others and teaching others about this unfortunate bullying epidemic. What are your hopes for anti-bullying awareness moving forward?
Where's my what?
Oh, what are your hopes for anti-bullying awareness moving forward?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I really think we can do it, and I can see that all the kids. I'm not saying a lot of them. I do believe that all kids are kind of getting into the knowledge of the idea of we have to create a better world. Otherwise, we're just going to go downhill. And as you can see, there's a lot of kids that they start being interested in for instance, in animals, dogs, being more human, trying to create this world a lot better environment, not only for human, for everybody, for the animals, for everybody. And I think we should be more thoughtful, with everything, not only between us, but I really think they are kids, teenagers. They start thinking already in a positive way, and I really hope that they are continuing being that way.
I definitely agree with you. And I also want to thank you for speaking with me or speaking with us today. It was great speaking to you.
Not
Now,
a problem. Anytime.
tell us about Anthony's legacy, because I want you to mention that. So can you tell us about Anthony's legacy?
Yes, yes. I'm gonna start that because he left us a lot of information. He left us a lot of ways of trying to solve this problem. What really got me really badly is when he passed away And I talked to these kids in that balloon release that I told you a little while ago. Many of his friends, they came to me and told me that he was the one supporting them, trying to cheer them up, when they were down, when they were suffering bullying too. He was the one coming to them to tell them, oh, don't listen, do this, do that. He was the one that tell them or give them a lot of hopes of how to get their lives straightened out in many ways. I remember there was this girl that used to or still likes boxing. So obviously a lot of people kind of make fun of her because that's not really a sport for, well, that's what everybody says, that it's not a sport for women. So everybody picked on her and all that, trying to do bullying to her and all that. So Anthony was the one that says, no, 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 don't pay attention. I mean, you like boxing. I mean, go ahead and do it. So I've been writing a lot of stories from Anthony, stories that his own friends have told me. And that's part of how I'm going to start with Anthony Legacy, all the information that he left us, all the stories that I can tell you about him, and how we can help others, because all the things that he went through, they were not, some of them were nice, some of them bad, really bad. So the fact that we can tell his stories might help someone. And if he's helped someone, at least one person, I would be more than happy. If it's only one person that I did help, I'm happy with it. If it's two person, if it's three more, whatever. And I'm really happy because most of his friends even call me Pop, the way my son used to call me. You know what I'm saying? So that makes me believe that I really have to go for it. I really have to do something about all the information that Anthony left us. I really have to speak up and say what happened to him, and nobody should go through whatever he went through. Not other parents should go through what I went through, or my wife and I went through. So it's not any information that we should keep for us. I want to share it with people. I want to share all my story to get something positive from something negative that happened. I know some once in a while I feel bad saying that it was negative, but yeah, it was negative, and something what happened to my son was not something positive. So from something negative, I really want to get something positive. I really want to get people to know that they are not alone, and we can do something all together in community.
I think it's beautiful that you're putting that together and putting it together to help others. So I think
Yes,
it's really beautiful. And of course, I'm always going to support you. So keep me updated on that.
anytime. We're here. We're here to help each other.
Awesome. Oh, wait. Okay. Going back to social media. So, so you're going to start a social media page for Anthony's Legacy?
Yes.
My last question for you is how can people find you? Tell us your website.
Oh, gap.org. I think that only gap.org. That's
Yeah,
the website.
gabnow.org. That's gabnow.org. So yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
I'm bad with internet things. I'm still learning. I will.
it's all good, Carlos. Well, Carlos, thank you so much for sharing your personal story about your son, Anthony, with us and working towards bullying and suicide prevention.
Not a problem. I'll be here for you anytime.
Awesome. Thank you. And thank you for everyone listening. I hope to see you guys at future Race to Speak Up podcasts. If you have any questions about the Race to Speak Up podcast, feel free to contact me at racetospeakup@gmail.com. Make sure to follow at Race to Speak Up on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for updates on future podcasts. Join the Humanity Rising movement. Humanity Rising offers scholarships for students making a difference in the world through service. Visit www.humanityrising.org for more information. And remember to ask yourself this question: how do you race to speak up